Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a video about a very popular article that has been out for the last few days. A blogger or journalist, I'm not sure what he is, named Damon Young. He wrote an article titled "Straight Black Men Are the White People of Black People." And I thought the article was really it's interesting to read something like that, but when you actually can witness such a thing on the internet, it's like just really putting in print what you see and what you feel. But within the article, and I'll list a link down below, he just basically talks about how black men make black women feel like they pose danger to them the same way black men feel like white men pose danger to them. And I have to start by saying my opinion is going to be very different. I am a black woman and my father is African, which is different for those who actually know African culture. It's a different mindset. And I haven't lived in the U.S. for almost 10 years, but interesting enough, I don't even live in a European country, but I still have access, or not access, black men still make contact with me. And I still watch pop culture by way of internet. So I am very much abreast of what's going on in the U.S. and socially and politically. And I'd have to say that, sorry dude, but like, black men are nothing like white men. I am so sorry to tell you. And you make some interesting points in this video, and you talk about how like for political meetings, men are looked at. It's still a patriarchal society we live in, and men are called to the table first before women, and saying that usually it's a black man, and black men get the benefit of the doubt in society. At least they do in black society, that's for sure. I mean, we can list so many situations when negative situations happen to black women, and just like the community is like dogging her out. There are situations that happen to black minors who are females, and just the community dogs her out. However, when a black male is being pulled over, or he's arrested, or he has done something to put his fate on a negative path with the law, the whole community comes out and marches, even if he's in the wrong. There's a huge disparity of the benefit of the doubt, or the treatment that black men get as opposed to black women in the community. And I think it's even to the point where black women in America cannot count on black men for protection. And I think that is kind of not and maybe people would say that's an understatement, or just that's a given, that black women do not feel like they can count on black men. Black women in America, I have to make that distinction, feel like they can't count on black men, because black women outside of the United States, we have a different view, because we are able to deal with men of different races, of other races other than black. But usually when we have contact with a black man, it's because a black man is making contact with us, even if we're not in the same country, even if we don't have anything to do with them, they still making contact with us. So that's kind of how that goes. But like I said, white men have nothing to do with black men in the account that black women, sorry to say, feel like they can depend on white men before they can depend on black men. And that's going to come as a bruiser, or that's going to come as a maybe an insult or a slight to some, but it just is what it is. And if you look online, if you look at relationships, and if you just look at the social climate and the way things are, I mean, white men are talking about in these in these particular times, what's going on with politics, you know, exposing the truth, getting the truth out to people, prepping, they're preparing for the worst, they're spreading information and knowledge, they're coming together, they're, you know, they form coalitions, they get things done, you know what I'm saying? On the other hand, there's so many more videos, as many videos as there are about white men prepping and white men getting together in groups and trying to have a voice, which has been silenced in the U.S. No one can deny that. White men have no voice. They are I almost want to call them the niggers. They're the niggers now, you know, white men are. But, like, no one gives a shit about them. But, as much as white men do all that to prepare themselves for a government that they feel does not have their best interest at heart, even though they are white, there's a video, you can find a video made by a black man still calling a black female a bitch, a whore. I don't even know what other modern day names that black men have for black females nowadays. I'm not big on slang. My slang is 20 years ago, but, you know, just, or how to have sex with them. Who's worthy of sex and who's not worthy of sex. Who's ugly, who's attractive, who's garbage. For every positive, you know, building video that a white man is making, there is a black man is making a video on how to screw a woman or a non-black woman, and why non-black women can't compete with, or why black women can't compete with non-black women. This is what's happening. So there are two different focuses by the men, you know, in American society, you know. And if you're a woman and you're looking like, well, changes are coming, the new world order is here, you know, what, as a woman, where do I go? As a black woman in America, you ain't got nowhere to go. You know, this is a very interesting article, and like I said, it's interesting on another part to see the reactions of a lot of black men. A lot of black men were taking the side, oh, well, he's a feminist, or he has to write this type of article. Even men who call themselves conservative, you can hear their anti-woman or anti-black woman undertones in their response, not saying that, well, yeah, I am the leader of society, of our society, or of our community, blah, 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 of black community, of black society. Instead, it's just like, well, this guy, maybe he didn't get laid enough, or, you know, well, black women, if they could just do this and that, and that. It's just like, really? So the fight continues. It's never going to end. And it's really just pointless. Like, I don't have a dog in the fight, but like I said, this really is, I have to give Damon Young kudos, because he is a black man who is taking the time to actually acknowledge the feeling of black women, which so many men just won't. So many men just won't. And, you know, I'm kind of blessed I don't have to deal with that. I will be back in the States at some point, but, you know, I'm lucky I don't have to deal with that. You know, even as someone living in a foreign country, you know, as far as being protected, you know, maybe having some sort of female privilege, I don't know. I mean, I still kind of know I will be protected. More so than I would, I mean, even if I had to go to my consulate, you know what I'm saying? More so than if I had to rely on the community within the United States. I still feel like I would be better protected. You know, if there was a disaster, I would still wash up on the shores of my consulate and still feel somewhat better protected. Even if whatever they do as far as, oh, we'll loan you the money, the U.S. embassy would be like, well, we'll loan you the money to do whatever. I would still feel more protected than if a situation happened to me in the United States where it was a social issue and things had to be decided amongst the quote-unquote black community, you know. And I say this, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, Damon Young doesn't have a point to make this video because black men don't oppress black women. Well, you know, I'm an occultist, and this is the type of channel that you're getting this video off of. And if I can be honest, you know, black men do oppress black women on a spiritual level, though. And on an energetic level, to the point that black women are the last to even look at men of another race, no matter how much better for them or more suitable as a partner these men may be for them. They are still the last to look at another man of another race. And the only reason, and I'll stand by this, the only reason why so many women unorganically interracially date nowadays, so many black women unorganically interracially date, and I mean specifically seek out non-black men, is because of the treatment that can be witnessed on social media and probably in the streets of America. I don't know, but if it hits social media, then it already has to be out in the streets. That treatment that black men and that attitude and that energy that black men have towards black women, you can feel it. Like, I talk a lot about energy. Like I said, I'm an occultist. Don't think that energy just evaporates. Don't think that. And don't think oppression just comes through the form of government. No, everything is energy, babes. Everything is energy. And you can feel that. You can feel the hatred. You can feel this. You know, sometimes I'll have a guy who contacts me out of the blue, has no business contacting me, but he contacts me because I'm black. And so all of a sudden there's this imaginary, invisible connection that we have just based upon that. And, you know, they feel that they can system me and all this other stuff. And there's this instant compatibility. Compatibility doesn't work like that. Everything is energy. And if the energy is wrong, you can judge me by the way I look all you want. But if the energy is not there, and our energy is not in alignment, and it's not matched, there's no connection. And I can just feel the hardness. And even one guy even told me, he's like, well, that's why black men don't date you all anymore. And I'm like, that doesn't even apply to me, dude. I mean, this isn't even the U.S. Why are you bringing, and it's like there's just something going on there, to the point that people take that mentality out of the U.S. and they bring it to other countries, and they try to mentally oppress people who don't even live, black people who don't even live in the United States, with that type of ideology. What do I care? I don't even live in the United States. I'm not around black men. So my first choice is going to be a non-black man if I'm trying to mate and date, because that's what I'm centered around. You understand what I'm saying? I have to go out of my way to date an American, whatever, because that's not the predominant man that's here. But for someone to tell me, even in that situation, to be like, well, that's why, black men don't even look at you, and as if, as if. But that just goes to my point that there is a lot of hatred, and it's not, there's no need for denial. There's no need for ignoring it. It's out there. And Damon was nice enough to write this article. He was conscious enough, of the energy that is out there, and he wrote this article to put it out there. But like I said, my one tweak with Damon Young is that, hey, when it comes to hatred, or when it comes to oppression, I'm sorry. I would say that, especially now in these times when black people are everywhere they can be, when a black person will get a job and a white man would lose a job for saying the same thing that another black person would say, I would say that the white man is not the black woman's oppressor. The black man is, So I don't think it's the same at all from what I'm witnessing, even thousands of miles away. You guys are going through something there that is crazy as hell that I never even thought I'd live to see the day of. But, I look forward to reading more interesting articles that he writes. But saying that black men pose the same danger, not in the least bit. I could probably bet that a lot more black women will feel comfortable around white men more so than they do around black men. And that is going from the energy that is online. We are humans. We are transmitters and receivers of energy. I don't have to be in the U.S. to pick up on the foolishness that goes on there. It's there. You know, it is there. We're human. We pick up on this stuff. Energy doesn't dissipate, or, you know, it doesn't not cross any lines. The computer is one big transmitter and receiver of energy. So, you know, if people are in denial about what he's saying, or they're in denial about what's going on, then they don't know how energy works. So I'm going to end this video. I thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.